Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. In this video we are having a pillow talk. Now I have a playlist called Pillow Talk, and this video will go inside of that playlist in case you want to hear any other pillow talks that we've done. This is kind of different from a tea time. You know, my tea time videos, you know, that's like a early late morning lunch time video, and you know, we PG-13 pretty much in that type of video. But if I say pillow talk on my video, it's possible that the video may be sexually explicit or, you know, talk about adult content. So those are videos that chances are you probably need to move the children away from this audio because it's just for adults. You know, that tea time video, they can hear that. Nothing is going to, you know, take their innocence in that point. All right. So let's continue on with the topic of this pillow talk. And it's, we have to stop thinking that we'll be the exceptions. We have to stop thinking that we will be the exceptions. And let me explain what I mean by that. When you met that female narcissist or you met that male narcissist, they probably had a lot of sob stories, and they probably had a trail of catastrophes and broken relationships. You know, the men, children over here, children over there, maybe even the female narcissist as well. But the men are notorious for that. So, you know, he probably got a baby that's less than 1 year old, and he's trying to get with you already. These are red flags, but we hear it and we're listening with our sympathetic ears, and we're giving them all this empathy, and, you know, because they're going to spin it to you in a way that, of course, will make them look victimized. And now being that empath and that codependent, you want to show them that they're lovable and that you won't be like the rest, and you want to set that balance and that equilibrium for them because you want them to feel loved and by you and for things to work out, and you're excited because you know you can do the opposite of these things, and you can provide the opposite of what this narcissist has been through. At least this is what they're telling you, of course, and we know that that's usually a half truth. But at the end of the day, you weren't the exception. The person before you weren't the exception. All the people before you wasn't the exceptions, and the people after you won't be the exception. Because sometimes people think a narcissist is just a playboy or a player or a playette, if you will. But there's a difference between the two. A player or a playette that's not a narcissist can eventually have the emotional maturity to evolve and move past that ignorance and that level of being and thinking. Okay? They can evolve past that and one day settle down with one person and be monogamous and be honest and all that other stuff, and they'll recount those times, periods in their life where they were X, Y, and Z, but they're not that anymore. A narcissist, they're just going to be that for a lifetime. That's it for them, because they don't have the emotional maturity to progress. Now, I sat back, even in my own situation, and I did a whole bunch of self-reflection, because after that last narcissist that really got me in such a short amount of time, probably one of my shortest relationships, but yet most devastating, I had to really get my life at that point. And I took a fine-tooth comb with the smallest teeth, okay? And I made the tiniest parts to break down all of it. And when I say all of it, not just my relationship with that person, but my whole life. Because I was like, you know what? I'm tired of this. Because I seen the patterns of dating all those narcissists. Progressively worse. And I wanted to be done with that. I got fed up. And I wanted better for myself and my children. And I knew that was going to be with me doing the shadow work. But I thought I was going to be that exception a little bit when I got with that narcissist, because at a certain point of our relationship, fairly early on, he told me about a woman that he had gotten pregnant. Now, I thought when he told me about this that him and I would be through at that point. I'm like, oh, well, you have a child coming. Well, go ahead and be with her. This is what I'm telling him. Like, oh, okay, I understand you have a child coming. You guys should be a family. You know, he's telling me, oh, I just found out, you know, this girl is 5 months pregnant. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because judging from the conversations that him and I had, he had told me if I had ever gotten pregnant beforehand that we would just get married and all this other stuff. And he was so against children out of wedlock and all these things. You know, that was him putting on a mask for me and reflecting myself back to me at that time. But either way, so, you know, once he told me about a pending baby, I was like, oh, you know, I was willing to see outside of myself, and I was fine with it. I was, in my mind, I was like, well, yeah, I was enjoying what we had. You know, that was obviously a love bomb going on, but I wasn't so hooked into him that I couldn't just be rational to see, hey, this dude has a baby coming with this woman. He needs to be focused over there. This is very serious, bringing a life into the world. You know, I had a lot of value on that. So it was nothing that he needed to tell me further, and it was understood. We were early on dating, and, you know, so I was like, yeah, well, you're going to go be with her. And he says, oh, no, I'm not going to be with her. She was always just a booty call. That's different from what me and you are. I was never going to be with her in that way. And she knows that, and she agrees with it as well, that, you know, we're better off not having a relationship. And then my response was, well, you know, maybe, you know, I don't want to be in the middle of this. It felt a little awkward. So I should have listened to my discernment at that time. But it wasn't like I had a conversation with her. I only heard what he said. And at that time, I took what he said. You know, I was like, well, okay, if that's what you're saying, you know, and I took him at face value at that time. I took him at face value. He made it, of course, as though that girl really never meant nothing to him. They were just friends with benefit. And then a baby came and he's just getting his throne on him and yada, yada, yada. So I thought I was going to be this exception. But what happened further down the line when I got pregnant? He ended up with someone else and telling her that I was never anything. You know, so I didn't do it on purpose. I wasn't trying to purposely step on anybody's toes, but my logic and my train of thinking should have just let me know, look how he's handling his affairs, you know, and then he had a daughter already. So there are things that, you know, the person that I am today would process extremely different than what I was doing back then. Okay, guys, so we have to stop thinking we're the exception, because how we get them is how we lose them. Oh my gosh, that has been extremely true in my life. I met him, he had a woman pregnant. I lost him, I was pregnant. And I won't even say I lost him because I dumped him, okay? But either way, when the relationship was over, now I was the pregnant one. And not now, instead of one, it was 2 babies. She had 1. So I got a double dose, you know. And I was like, well, God, I didn't mean to step on her toes if this is some karma coming back on me. I just believed what he said, you know. But it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. But we have to stop thinking that we're the exceptions. If nobody else was able to satisfy that female narcissist and she was only using people for this and that, chances are that's what your role is going to be. And one day you will expire on the day that you can't give. You're meeting this male narcissist. He has children over here. He on 4 baby moms. He has no kind of commitment, no type of follow through, no type of structure, no type of respect for bringing life into the world. And yet now you're going to come take all of that on and help provide for all these children, and then take a chance that if you should ever get pregnant, that he won't leave you and you just be number 5 baby mom. We have to stop thinking that we're going to be the exceptions. Look at Khloe Kardashian. She got with Tristan. He had his girlfriend was 7 months pregnant. So he left his girlfriend and jumped ship with Khloe. Now, leaving her when she's 7 months pregnant. And now when Khloe is darn near on a delivery table, a couple weeks before she has her baby, all these developments on media about him cheating on her during her pregnancy. How we get them is how we lose them. Only, she's sticking with him. Because I'm pretty sure she knows what she signed up for and she knows what she did. So, she gonna get mad, but how mad can she get? Because what goes around comes around. When I met my ex-husband, the narcissist, the first narcissist that I was with for the longest period, and we were together through all my 20s. My first boyfriend I met at 19. We divorced when I was 29, basically. Or had I just turned 30. I just turned 30. So we divorced at 30 legally. Yeah. And guess who he was with after the divorce? His ex-girlfriend that he was with before him and I got together, because he was a little bit older than me. So this was his high school sweetheart, quote unquote, that he had been with, he said, for 7 or 8 years by the time he got with me. So when I divorced him, he was back with her. How I got him, how I lost him. And I didn't lose him to her per se, but he just ended up back with her because I divorced him. Okay? But this is real stuff, guys. This is real stuff. We have to stop thinking that we're going to be the exceptions with people and start looking at their past behavior as more than not future predictions. Can people change? Yes, but we're talking about narcissists right now. We're not talking about typical people, regular people. We're talking about narcissists. All right. I mean, I don't be asking for information, but it just be falling on my lap. It's falling on my lap. Now, this last narcissist, he got with an older woman after me because he really wanted to find somebody that would take care of him. And, this older woman had a little spark of energy in her, and she was doing a little this and that. And, she had it going on with her career, but her self-esteem was low. Her true self-esteem is low because she couldn't be by herself. And he was able to get with her and exploit her for that. Now, I actually broke a cardinal rule. And this is really before I accepted the rule of not really telling the new supply because they're not going to believe you anyway. But I actually tried to warn her about him. And she thought she was going to be the exception as well. But guess what? This woman is in a bad place right now. In a bad place. Oh, and it's even worse for her because, like I said, in a certain sense, well, I can't say it's worse for her, but she gave the most in a certain sense. As far as she done took care of him for over 2 years now. Paid all the bills, bought him this and that. You can't buy love. You can't buy love. And she thought because she treated him so good that he was going to do right by her. But it wasn't nothing that she could give him to make him respect her and do her right because he's a narcissist. He ain't going to respect and do anybody right. And he's never going to be pleased. So all of this self-sacrificial stuff, borrowing out her 401k to finance this and that for him, are you kidding me? And she's going through it right now. I seen a recent image of her, and she done shaved the sides of her head off. Like, you know, when women do drastic stuff like that, it's something going on, and there's some change in the air, you know. There's a change in the air. And I smell, you know, a final discard. Either happened already or it's pending. And she looks like she's holding on for dear life. I almost want to send her a link to this channel so she can get a head start on, you know, her recovery. Because she don't look too good. She don't look too good, guys. And I'm not laughing at her. Don't get it twisted. I'm not laughing at her. Because I know how it feels to feel, you know, exhausted and wiped out by the end of things. But I can only imagine how she feels after really sticking her neck out, bringing him into her home. And while she out working, he trying to sleep with any and everybody. He tried to hoover me that way. But I don't want his behind. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Please. After everything that transpired between him and I, it's only pure narcissism that would even have him think that he could even go there with me again. Anybody else in their right mind would know better than to ever try that again. You guys don't know half of it. But she's not doing too well. But when I tried to let her know, you know, it was on deaf ears because he was love bombing her and she didn't want to let go of the fantasy. Of course she didn't. Why would she want to let go of the fantasy and, you know, lose her quote unquote happiness? But the way she got him is the way she gonna lose him at this point. And I see so many survivors still upset about how quickly the narcissist moved on. And we have to begin to change our perceptions about that as well. Did the narcissist really move on quickly if they already had somebody else waiting in the wings? This person didn't just drop out of the sky onto the narcissist plate. 99.9% of the time, the narcissist already knew this person was already cheating on them with you. That's a huge difference. That is a huge difference, guys. They didn't just move on quickly. They just went to the side piece that they already knew. That relationship that was already established. How hard is that? If they're always keeping somebody in their back pocket, they didn't just move on so quickly. They already was dealing with that person. So can we even say that they moved on per se? If they was already dealing with that person, the person was already in the equation. They just lost somebody and kept something that they already had. Started dealing with that more than they already was dealing with it, guys. The person was already there. How easy would it be for anybody to quote unquote move on if the person is already in their life, already sleeping with the person, already gone over their house 1 or 2, 3 nights of the week, already going out on dates with them, behind your back, in the cut, on the low. So yes, it may appear that way. It appears like, man, they just moved on and got somebody that quickly. The somebody was already there, guys. And you guys fall for this okie doke over and over, and it hurts your feelings that much more as you're watching them now put this person in the public that they were keeping behind closed doors when they were with you. Of course they're going to do it now because they're hoping that you're going to look and that you're going to feel some kind of way and that it's going to make you second guess yourself and that it would work in their favor and continue to mind fuck you. And that now, when they come back, you're going to feel like, well, this is a prized possession. Everybody wants them. I better do what they want or else. Please. Don't fall for it. Don't fall for it. Do not fall for it. Open your eyes. Alright guys, I hope this pillow talk has helped somebody, and that you will stop thinking that you are the exception and stop being so heartbroken on what seems to be as the narcissist moving on very quickly, because that is not what's going on. That is the perception and it's not the reality. It's the perception, but it's not the reality. Okay, that's just like being jealous of somebody that's filming a video in front of a mansion and telling everybody it's their mansion, but they just rented the mansion for the day so they could stunt on the video. It's not even theirs. Why is he jealous of it? It's not theirs. The narcissist already had that relationship going, and they're presenting this illusion. That's what they do. They present illusions. That's what they do in the love bombs phase. That's what they're doing throughout the whole relationship, setting up illusions, guys. Illusions. But you guys are going to see through that. You're not going to fall for the okie doke. Alright? So if this video resonates with you, go ahead and hit the like button. If you haven't done so already, please feel free to subscribe to my channel. I do upload videos quite frequently. There's a playlist, guys. There's many playlists on my channel. What is there? 230 videos now dealing with narcissistic abuse. You can go through them, take what you can. You know, if you are struggling, just find the titles that call out to you and take a listen. Alright guys, I do offer coaching via the telephone, Skype, email. You know, email CoachLakia@gmail.com and we can set that up. I have books on Amazon and Barnes and Nobles that help people heal from traumatic relationships. Okay, you can check those out as well. I highly recommend it. Alright guys, until next time.